Welcome to the NC Spin After Spin. Additional comments from our panelists just available on our website. We want to ask, what do you wish you had said on last week's show, but that you didn't? John Hood, we'll start with you.
Tom, we were talking about the Opportunity Scholarship lawsuit and the outcome in the Supreme Court and its implications. And some people have said, well, now that it is legal in North Carolina, clearly legal, no longer constrained by even the doubt in the state constitutional claims, that there's going to be a push for universal vouchers. And I actually think that's a mistake to think that that's the likely outcome. There are some people who advocate it, but not very many. And I'll tell you why. Private schools are not interested in that outcome. They do not want the kind of regulation that Chris and Peg were talking about earlier. They don't want large numbers of their students receiving state grants to attend the school because they're afraid it would invite not just regulation on certain claims in textbooks that are wacky, but much more intrusive regulation that would really impinge upon their ability to teach their children as they wish. So I think that private schools, though they welcome the opportunity for low and middle income kids to benefit from vouchers, they do not favor a universal program because many of them at least, because they fear the strings attached.
Interesting. Peg O'Connell, what do you wish you'd have said on last week's show?
Well, I was thinking I might give you the website for Talk It Out NC, which is www.talkitoutnc.org. But in this conversation about school vouchers, I think, I just want to say, which, all liberals will say, if we really care about the education of our children, let's properly fund our public education system and not go looking for untested ways to shovel these kids off to other places. If public schools have to take everybody, then either private schools should take everybody or not at all.
Interesting. Connie, what do you wish you'd have said on last week's show?
I mentioned about the United Healthcare and the cataract surgery issue, but what most people don't realize, and I really applaud Blue Cross Blue Shield for doing their cost estimators, where there's around 300 procedures that individuals can go and put in their address and find out within a 25-mile radius what the cost is. For cataract surgery in Wake County at an ASC physician-owned lower cost, you're looking at about $2,500. And when you have a copay that's going up like it is right now, that matters a lot. At the higher end, you're looking at some of the major hospitals close to $9,000 or $10,000 for that same cataract surgery. So when we're talking about CON reform, we're talking about big money. It can be 2 or 3 times more expensive. You have the copays that the individual's paying, and then the whole healthcare system's paying for it. There are 24 states that do not regulate for outpatient surgery centers, and people have been reading a lot in the paper about it because it is the right cost-efficient thing to do for the consumer and for the system overall.
Big pocketbook issue.
It's huge, huge money.
Chris, what do you wish you'd have said on last week's show?
Well, in the Tell Us Something You Don't Know segment, I was mentioning the acrimony between the governor and the legislature. I was really struck this past week. At the same time, the House Appropriations Committee had a hearing where they basically were inviting people to come in and criticize the Senate budget, which the House members were doing on their own, which is part of the budget process. But at the very same moment, Senate leaders were having a press conference criticizing Governor McCrory's transportation bond proposal. So if you have any doubt that we're going to be in session for a while, I think that Wednesday afternoon was a good example of why we're going to be here. You had the House criticizing the Senate, and the Senate criticizing the governor.
So our predictions to get out the Halloween decorations may not be
too far off.
May not be too far off. Well, thanks for watching the After Spin. We'll have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.